Welcome back, people of YouTube. I am back for yet another review, so stick around to the end because you can help me find the 8 shards for the Desecrated Temple. I'm your host, Save the Planet Entertainment, and this is Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Don't go away. In a seemingly not too far away, but it's actually really far away, year 2000, a lot of things happen. One of which, Midway Games released Gauntlet Dark Legacy.
Playable for you and up to 3 of your friends, Gauntlet is pretty simple. There are 8 realms in total, plus the one bonus one at the end, but at the end of each 8 is a realm guardian, otherwise known as a boss. Each boss holds a shard. Snag all 8 shards to grant you access to the Desecrated Temple. That's Gauntlet. It's fun. In-game, it's pretty simple again. There are 3 types of enemies. Ankle biters, which are quite annoying, as the name might imply, and the regular realm enemies. What's interesting about these 2 types of enemies is how they spawn. Out of generators.
You could quite literally sit there and kill 1 billion enemies at the same spot and be stuck there forever. All you gotta do is destroy the generator. Then you'll be good.
You'll also come across what the game calls guardians. They are quite cool and, dare I say, intimidating because their footsteps are insanely loud. Like, I'm talking like massive, thunderous booms. And it's like, okay, well, this guy's 2 blocks down the road. Let's get ready, guys. You know, for the most part, you end up doing the same exact thing in every level for Gauntlet Dark Legacy. But here's where Gauntlet, while riding the thin line between boring and repetitive and non-stop fun, is where the dark horse comes in. Variety.
You are now entering the castle courtyard.
If it wasn't for just the little things like everywhere in the game, Gauntlet Dark Legacy would be pretty boring pretty fast.
Well, what kind of little things, you might ask? Well, for starters, there's a gauge bar that slowly fills up over time, enabling you to unleash some pretty sick, decimating power. There's also gadgets you can pick up, little items that can help you in combat, like triple shot, the equivalent of Thor's hammer, super shot, some shields, and some quirky ones like turning you into a chicken. Yes, and other items like potions can quickly turn the tide in your favor. Keys also used to unlock chests that can contain literally anything inside: gold, money, more items. It could literally even contain death, which is a really cool enemy in the game, but more on that later.
One last thing I'd like to discuss is the gameplay mechanic of backtracking or reusing environments.
It's a fine line, but it's been done great. Some examples are, well, Luigi's Mansion and Resident Evil 1. You could backtrack in those games a lot, and it never felt like a chore. It felt rewarding. On the other hand, games like Donkey Kong 64 and Gauntlet Dark Legacy, the backtracking felt like a chore. You see, in Gauntlet Dark Legacy, you need golden tooths or feathers to unlock the east or west wing, which holds 3 realms each. On top of that, you need a certain number of crystals to unlock the gate to that specific realm. So inevitably, after you beat the boss for that realm, you'll most likely have to go back, play an extra level, and earn the crystals, because even though you got every single crystal or killed every single guardian that holds a golden feather, the game pretty much just says, you know, I don't know, F you. Go back and do it again. That's not fun. Here we are. For gameplay, 71 out of 100 pros. Variety in pretty much everything, like a huge variety of enemies. We'll get more in the presentation of that. Great boss battles and cons. Bad backtracking. It's really annoying in games with bad backtracking. I can't get enough of it. But yeah, great boss battles. I didn't really touch on that, but this game has great boss battles. Moving on though, 2 categories left. Presentation.
Now, seemingly on video, Gauntlet Dark Legacy isn't that impressive.
Does this look like a GameCube game to you? It honestly looks like a Nintendo 64 game to me. That's literally just my opinion, but I won't harp on this for too long as I really never judge a game on its graphics. What I would like to talk about yet again, the variety. Variety is king in Gauntlet. No two realms represent each other. Each has their own environmental setting. Swamps, forest, graveyard, Egyptian, ice realm, the list goes on. And it really seems like the net that was casted out for enemy design is very large. Every single realm has, even though they're the same frame of enemies between ankle biters and grunts and guardians you'll see, they all have different designs and they're pretty damn sick if you ask me. I mean, just for a 12-hour game, I really have to applaud Midway Games for having such a diverse collection of enemies. On top of all this, for presentation, I also want to say that the soundtrack, although on a couple levels, maybe like 2 or 3, weren't that great, the overall soundtrack for the game is very good. Here we are, presentation 87 out of 100 pros, soundtrack, and variety. They're both really good. Cons, really no cons for presentation that large other than the fact that the graphics aren't as up to date as most people would like. Again, I don't really judge game graphics, so it's not a big deal. But moving on to the final category, overall impact. Let's go.
Overall impact for me, I've had this game for a long time. I've beat it twice, almost 3 times, and I gotta say, I really do like this game.
I can understand if someone had a view of Gauntlet as repetitive and boring, but with everything included between the items and the great XP system and the looting system, the bosses and all the levels, the switches you can use to find hidden treasures inside hidden walls, there's a lot to unpack in this 12-hour GameCube game. Coming around to the end of the review here, one of my last points as to why Gauntlet has stuck in my mind as a great GameCube game after all these years is because it's just so unique. 20 years after Gauntlet Dark Legacy has released, I have yet to play a game like it. On top of all this, it's amazing co-op, which transitions me to my final topic. Why isn't this on current consoles? I love co-op games. Most people do. Surely either a remaster or an indie game similar to Gauntlet would be made by now. You know, it should be pretty good. This game would be golden on current consoles. So that's pretty much it for overall impact. Gauntlet is very simple at its core. There's not much to write about, but I will say this. It has been a great number of years since I last wrapped Gauntlet, and even though it's not as great as I personally remember in my mind, it is still one of my favorite GameCube games of all time. Here we are, overall impact 85 out of 100 pros. Great fun. It's co-op. It's couch co-op. Wish it was online co-op. That's for current consoles. And unique style of game. Really haven't played anything really close to it. Cons, not really any cons. But before we move on to the actual end score, I gotta give a huge shout out to this channel here, Long Play Archive, an absolute beast of a channel who supplied me with the GameCube footage because I have no way of recording off my GameCube. If you're a fan of games, Long Play Archive has something for literally anybody. But here we are, overall score 8.1 out of 10, pretty damn high. We get 71, 87, 85, boil it all down to 8.1. So that's it. Gauntlet Dark Legacy is done. I've collected all 8 shards for the Desecrated Temple. I've uncovered all 13 runestones, which gained me entrance to defeat the all-evil ruler Garm. And now, to bask in the peace of victory. Surely, there'll be more to kill. But for now, I'm your host, Saber Planet Entertainment, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Peace.
Yellow Warrior has gained a weapon. You have defeated the vicious Spider Queen and recovered her shard. You have found the one runestone from this realm.
Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. If you want to support my channel, make sure to like and subscribe for future videos. I cover all areas of entertainment, from books to movies, TV shows, and games, all of the above. And if you're really dedicated, I do have my Patreon links in the description. Anything that's donated to my channel in any way necessary, half of it is going back to charity because it's the least I can do. So hopefully you enjoyed the video and have a great day. Peace.